Well, good afternoon, everyone. Brian Kohlwes here at Hirschbach. Glad to be with all of you today. Usually you'd hear from Brad Ep28, our CEO. Brad's actually off today, so they brought in the B team. They asked me to come in and host the podcast today. Today's is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. We only have a few topics we want to bring you up to speed on. First of all, I've got Austin Curtis here. Austin's our director of IT. How's Austin today?
Good. I'm good. How about you?
Doing real well. So Austin's here to talk to us about a few things. Talk about Copilot. We're going to talk about TransFlow. But mostly what we want to talk about is some new surveys our fleet is going to start seeing. As you know, at Hirschbach, we want to be the best in everything that we do over here, whether it be service, safety, putting money in our drivers' pockets. We want to be the best at everything we do here. And in order to become the best at everything, we need to know what we do really well, and we need to know what some of our shortcomings are. So that's where you folks come in. We need your help. We need you to give us some feedback, some honest feedback about where we're doing well, where we're struggling, and so that we know where to attach our efforts to from a long-term and short-term approach. So what you're going to start seeing from us are some surveys that are going to come to you through the TransFlow app, through the Hirschbach app, so that you can answer those. And I know they can either be anonymous or you can choose to have your name released if you would like. And then that's going to allow us to gather some feedback from you so we know where to focus our efforts. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the surveys they're going to start getting, Austin?
Right. The first survey you're going to get will come out right after this podcast. It's more of a quarterly survey, so you'll get this one every quarter. Just basic stuff of how satisfied you are with Hirschbach, your relationship with your driver manager, how satisfied are you with your compensation, your tractor, your home time. So it'll be on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being poor, 10 being the best. We want everybody's honest opinion. When you get it, we'd appreciate you fill it out. It should take 2 minutes, not too long to fill them out. This will be the first one. After this, we're going to try to start sending you more of a weekly surveys, 1 to 2 questions, maybe a few more, but they'll be straightforward. Just when you get them, we ask you to answer. It'll help us in the long run. There will be the weekly questions might be something more detailed, or something like, we're doing renovations at one of the terminals. What do you guys think about adding this feature to the terminal, or what do you guys want to be added? They're not all going to be 1 to 10 surveys. There might be comments letting you guys put your suggestions in, and then we'll review them and get your voices heard on these surveys. So it'll help us a lot, and it'll help you guys as well.
Yeah, it's really going to allow us to help you without knowing what we're doing good and what we're doing bad. It makes it tougher for us to know what to focus on over here. So that feedback will be very, very helpful for us. And this first one you're going to see here yet today, you're going to see that same questionnaire every quarter. Today's is going to allow us to gather a baseline to have a starting point of where we're at for each one of these categories. And 3 months from now, you'll get the same questionnaire, and we'll be able to see, are we getting better in some areas? Are we getting worse in other areas? So this first one just gives us that simple baseline to know where we need to be at, or where we're at in certain categories, so we know, so we can start focusing our efforts to make the business even better. So
yep, and make the environment better for you guys as well.
That's right. But we need your help in order to make ourselves better over here. So
yep,
thank you in advance for filling out the questionnaire. And like Austin said, you'll see some more targeted ones on a more routine basis, just for more targeted areas of the business that we're trying to focus on. So
yep.
What else is going on in IT?
Today we did have some issues with the TransFlow app. A lot of you guys might have experienced having issues getting in, the spinning wheel when you try to go and look at your loads. The vendor's been notified. It's been a top priority, critical issue for them. We just got notification that it should be fixed within the hour for you guys. And right now it's 1 Central Time, so it should be fixed fairly quick for everybody. After this podcast, it should be ready to roll for everybody. If not, just let your DM and logs team know, and we'll get back on it and get it fixed. The last thing I have to mention is there have been some issues with the Copilot app. We're still working on that. The main thing we just want to remind everybody is to always update your maps. The new Q1 maps are out there. Just open Copilot, go out and download your new maps, and then and if you're a new driver, just make sure you open Copilot and check in. That way it'll register on the portal, so then we can actually make sure you're checking in properly. So I think BK's got some questions here from.
We got some questions here. Let's see here. Have a question. Let's see here. Are we getting the phone email directory back on the Geo tab? Do you know the answer to that one, Austin?
Yes, it should be there.
Okay. Where in the app is it? Can you direct our operators as to where that's at?
That's Warren. How do you get there?
Yes, it's under the Hirschbach Library
Go to Hirschbach Library.
and Hirschbach Phone Directory.
Hirschbach phone directory, and it should be there.
Yeah, we have another question here. If there's ever going to be a cafeteria at the terminal so drivers can get hot meals. I can tell you we already have one. It's in East Dubuque. We hired a chef over there to, the primary purpose was it for the onboarding of new drivers over in East Dubuque. If you haven't eaten some of Chef Peter's food, I actually had some here about an hour ago. Fantastic, very healthy food for our operators at an affordable cost. Yes, as you all know, Brad has talked about this several times. Our facilities is one thing we feel that we've fallen behind in, that we're going to be ramping up as quickly as we can. We've got Kansas City getting that open as quickly as we possibly can. We're looking at some other areas around the country as well. And one of our objective is to have more food availability for our operators out there. So appreciate that question. Let's see here. I think that's it. If you have any other questions specific to today's meeting about the surveys or the TransFlow app or the Copilot app, make sure you call in. Your driver manager can get you to the right person and answer any questions you have. So anything else on the IT front?
Nope. The apps or the app should be sent to you guys through your. The survey should be sent to you guys through the app within the next hour or so. Like BK mentioned, we just appreciate it if you fill it out. You get the responses back to us, so then we can see where we need to improve and how we can make your lives better.
Well, that's all we have for today. Today's is very short and sweet here today. Hopefully we got you some good information about these surveys. We appreciate all the help you give us to help us help you. Winter is hopefully behind us. The Weather Task Force was calling some drivers here earlier this week. We had another snowstorm move through the Midwest, and I think there was some windstorms actually that moved through the Midwest and even parts of the South. So I'd be remiss if I didn't talk to you a little bit about safety. Remember, safety is our #1 value here at Hirschbach. We care about each and every one of you. We care deeply about those that travel around you, and you need to drive that truck as if your family and friends are in the vehicles that are around you. So keep the appropriate speed, keep the right space, and make sure you're sure of where you're putting your vehicle when you're in close quarters. So keep up all the good work out there. We appreciate all that you do, and got to give a shout out to the Drake Bulldogs, my alma mater. Last night. They pulled it off by 1 point. They got more lucky than good, I think. But
hey, moving on.
That's right. That's right. They're moving on. The first time they've won at the NCAA tournament since 1971. Oh, wow. So not trying to age anyone out there, but that was before both Austin and I were born.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I got to give a shout out to them. So thanks for all that you do out there. We appreciate everything. We care about each and every one of you, and thanks for your dedication to Hirschbach.
Thanks, guys.